All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, East Carolina soccer coach Gary Higgins, coming off a big win over NC State, and looking forward to a home game coming up this Thursday. Coach Higgins, thank you for your time. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the great start to the season. I years ago got into, I guess, club soccer a little bit and learned about the derbies, which I think is pronounced derbies, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
rivalries, things like that. Rivalries are huge in soccer. East Carolina, NC State, a huge rivalry in every sport. So have you, during your time here, kind of embraced that, the in-state rivalries and things like that?
100%. So, actually, my wife's family's massive NC State fan, so I always knew about the Wolfpack. And then our first college game that we attended at ECU was in 2022 when we had that really close nail-biter of a game at Dowdy Ficklin. So we got a pretty quick realisation of how passionate that derby was, and I wanted to get NC State on the schedule ever since then, and we had them away from home this year, and then they're coming here next year. So yeah, that's what it's all about in college sports, in my opinion, is those in-state rivalries, and NC State's a fantastic program and university, but so is ECU and East Carolina, and I was really glad that ECU came out on top on Sunday night.
A couple more in-state opponents coming up, UNC Greensboro and Campbell for East Carolina. Coach, how about that win to start the season, 1-0? What went right for your team?
The girls came ready to play. We had one exhibition game in pre-season, and we were trying to figure some things out there, and obviously in practice, but you're never sure of how they're going to show up in that first game, and thankfully they came ready to play, and most importantly they were ready to compete. So all the first and second balls we pretty much won. I would say at least 75% of those, and really dominated and earned the right to play. So that was the first goal of ours, was to earn the right to play and then start possessing the ball well, and then take your chances when they came, and thankfully we got that one. And then we defended well in the right moments after that. But I thought we looked very comfortable, and I thought, to be honest, there was only one team that really wanted to get the win, and it was, thankfully, ECU.
How much, what is practice like for you? How much do you work on those free kicks and those spot,
Oh, it's massive. It's massive. So set pieces are crucial. So Coach Gaffney, Evan Gaffney, our goalkeeper coach, he's actually in charge of set pieces, but we work on corner kicks specifically, defensively and offensively. But then those wide free kicks are almost as crucial as those corner kicks. So we do them as well. And again, you have to have the execution of someone being able to serve that ball well, which Julie done excellently. But then people willing to attack that ball with desire and passion. And Abby is fearless when it comes to that, and she got on the end of it.
Awesome to see. East Carolina winners over NC State. Now UNC at Greensboro coming up on Thursday. One of our interns, Zach, is part of the Scallywags. He's the guy with the big hair. And he and his friends were there. How cool was that to see?
Oh, man, I can't tell you how cool that was. So one of my short-term goals when I got here was to increase the fan base and the attendance at our games. And we came up with the Scallywags, and I could see you being a bit of a scallywag, actually. If you look up the definition, it's a bit mischievous and stuff. So, but those guys, man, they've been obviously coming to all of our home games. But to see them travel, they travelled to Duke last year. They travelled to NC State, and that was... Normally, I'm telling the girls to go and thank them after the game. Right. My captain, Maeve, was like, go and thank the Scallywags. And I was like, yes, this is what it's all about, is... We've kind of built that, and that's part of our program now. So, yeah, long may that continue.
It's kind of you've got, 5 or 6 non-conference games, and you jump into league play. So you accomplished what you wanted to game one. Now how do you kind of keep it rolling throughout this non-conference action?
That's the thing, is just we've talked a lot about that this year, is the consistency piece. That makes a program go from good to great. So... It's literally, not to sound cliche, but it's one game at a time. We're so proud of what we've done against NC State, but bang, practice this morning, and we talked about it right at the start, and then that's it over. So all we focus on now is UNCG. and it's just trying to perform well in that next game. And if we do that and we compete like we did, and then maybe add a little bit of quality on top of that each game, we should be in a decent spot. But yeah, just one game at a time, and every team that we come up against are good in terms of they could beat us on any given day. So if we take our foot off the gas at any point, we're not going to win those games. So we just need to be ready to go on Thursday.
You want to win every game. You want to win your conference, obviously. What is the postseason format, Coach? Are there at-larges, or is it a conference champion goes? How does that work?
Yeah, so the American has been, from a soccer standpoint, it's sometimes been 2 or 3 teams that have made it. So like the conference champion and then 2 at-large bids. Now, SMU was always one of those that were in the mix there. So they've just went to the ACC. USF, Memphis have been those NCAA teams the last few years. So wins like we had on Sunday could really help with at-large bids, but something that we want to do obviously is win that conference championship. I always say it's the Willy Wonka golden ticket. You get that golden ticket to the NCAA tournament, and you don't have to worry about someone else's opinion getting you into the NCAA tournament. So there's a couple of ways to do it, and we're going to try our best on both avenues.
UNC Greensboro, the next opponent, coming up 7 o'clock on a Thursday, and that'll be at Johnson Stadium. So an opportunity to go see East Carolina at home for the first time. Coach, for people that go out there and see your team play this year, what kind of team should they expect to see? What kind of attacking, what kind of formations, things like that?
Yeah, when I first got here, it was all about laying a foundation defensively, so being really difficult to beat, and that was a short-term goal, and I always want to continue that, being like, if you keep it 0 on one end, you've always got a chance to win games. Yeah. But now, in year 3, we hope to add a little bit more offensive production and really be a force to be reckoned with in front of goal, and I feel we've got the talented players to do that now. But again, keeping it tight at the back and dominating possession is hopefully what we can do. But always, always, always play with passion and compete and never take anything for granted, because that sets the tone straight away. So that's what to expect if you're coming to watch a soccer game at Johnson Stadium.
Familiar name you mentioned earlier in Maeve English, another D.H. Conley grad. I went to D.H. Conley, nice. So shot Holt Nailers, Brian Packard, Dixon Williams. We've had a lot over the years. How about, I always ask you about recruiting, Coach, and where you go to find the best talent. So tell us about that. Where do you usually get recruiting?
So Maeve is kind of like a unique situation, a little bit of a unicorn from a soccer standpoint, in terms of soccer still growing in Greenville. So to have someone that's able to come in and contribute the way Maeve has is just quite unique. But we're obviously so grateful, because if you were to cut her open, she would bleed purple and gold. Genuinely, her whole family loves ECU, so it means a little bit more. But the game's still growing and getting better. But we don't neglect any area of the state or the country. We search high and low. So we've got some really good in-state kids. One of them made her freshman. She came on and played impactful minutes against NC State. Amy Mason. She's from Raleigh. We look at Wilmington, Charlotte, all those areas. But then out of state, we're in a quite good area in terms of the surrounding states as well. But we didn't have any international recruits when I first got here. Now we have 5. So I felt that was important to compete in our conference, because Memphis, from top to bottom, they have so many international students, and they've been the powerhouse in our conference. USF, same thing. So felt getting that balance. I don't want to completely have the roster full with international kids, but having a sprinkle of that international flair and passion for the game, while having the pride of North Carolina, and then obviously the different aspects of all over the country is really important to find that balance, I think. So year 3 starting, I feel we've got that good balance, and hopefully it shows on the field.
Every case is different, but generally speaking, those international players, are those contacts you have made? How do you go about finding talent all over the world?
Yeah, contacts I've made over the since I've been here, contacts I maybe still have from Europe, having played at a decent level. And then, just every international recruit I've ever had has been a different type of story. It's never usually the same way it happens. So one of them that started against NC State and played well, Caitlin Starr, was the most random story ever. She's originally from London. She came over to a boarding school in New Hampshire in high school and managed to go up and see her practice in the middle of nowhere, just out about an hour north of Boston. So you just have to search high and low, and I think a lot of people will enjoy watching her play and what she can do with the ball. But just we don't have the luxury of having players maybe like some of these Power 4 schools that just conveyor belt after player after player. So we have to go and put the work in from a recruiting standpoint.
Gary Higgins joining us, Coach. You've been on several times with us, but for folks seeing you and hearing you for the first time, give us your background. Where are you from, and how in the heck did you get here to Greenville? Yeah,
originally from Scotland, Paisley, Scotland. So I came over to America in 2005, played at Lenore Ryan University in Hickory, loved my time there, became a graduate assistant after that and got my master's. And then I went to Knoxville, Tennessee, played a little bit of semi-pro there, and then got my first full-time coaching gig at Tusculum University in Greenville, Tennessee. And then went back to Lenore Ryan as a women's head coach there. Done quite well there. Got to the Final Four, D2 2021. And then March of 2022 got the ECU job. And just loved my time here so far. Actually just became an American citizen a month ago, so pretty honoured and grateful for that. And I just love my time in Greenville so far. I love being part of Pirate Nation.
Awesome. When did you know soccer would be a part of your adult life and entire life?
As soon as I picked the ball up when I was young, I think my mum and dad said it was like 3 years old. They just knew I was just kicking it everywhere, and it didn't leave I think I slept with the soccer ball, to be honest. And then when I came over here for university, I never really knew what I wanted to do. I always wanted to play professional soccer, and then I got a really bad ankle injury my senior year, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and coaching kind of fell in my lap, to be honest. And I just felt in America, especially with college athletics, there's so much opportunity to continue in the sport that you love. And thankfully I got my start in my coaching career, and I just absolutely love getting out of bed every day and being involved in the game that I love.
Have you always coached women?
No, so when I first got my master's at Lenore Ryan, I was on the men's side as an assistant. Tusculum was still the men's as a full-time assistant, and then my first head coaching gig was the women's team at Lenore Ryan, and then my second one was ECU.
Gotcha. And of course no men's team here, but ECU women in good hands with Gary Higgins joining us in the Pirate Radio studios. We'll circle back one more time to your team. And Coach, I know you're excited. Home opener. You want fans to be out there rocking, making it a great environment, because it really does affect the play on the field sometimes, right? Yeah,
100%. My first game in charge here was against Duke, and we managed to smash the attendance record. I think we got 1,300 plus in that game, and the goal at some point is to get 1,500. NC State had 2,200 at the game the other night, and it was a great atmosphere. So I know we're in a baseball town, I know we're in a football town, but I think, and that's awesome, obviously, long may that continue, but I would love for soccer to be part of that. And we have an amazing facility over at Johnson Stadium, and we all know how passionate Pirate Nation is for all college athletics. So hopefully we can get 1,500 in there one night and break that attendance record again, because it makes a difference, especially in those close games, really supporting the team and getting the girls all fired up.
Let's pack it out. Gary Higgins joining us, Coach. Congratulations on the early success this season and the success you've had since you've been here in Greenville, and keep it up, man. Looking forward to more W's this season.
Yeah, no, we're excited, and one game at a time. We're going to hopefully put more wins on the column, and we're excited, and as always, go Pirates.